we're going to learn about some special exponent rules. The first one is when I have a number that is to the 0 power, to the power of 0. And the other one is when I have a negative base number, either with parentheses or without. So let's talk about this first. So anything to the 0 power, anything, will always be 1. Okay, anything to the 0 power will always be 1. So for example, if I had 18 raised to the 0 power, that would be 1. If I had 28 raised to the 0 power, it would be 1. If I had 14 and 5/10 to the 0 power, it would be 1. You see where I'm going with this? If I had 5 to the 0 power, it would be 1. Now let's talk about why that works. You don't have to write all of this down, but I do want you to understand. So if I had, let's use a basic number like 2. 2 to the power of 2, that means repeated multiplication, 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay? If I had 2 to the power of 3, repeated multiplication, that means 2 times 2 times 2. That means that my answer is 8. If you can see what happened right here, as I moved up one exponent, I multiplied by 2. If I did another one, 2 to the power of 4, this time it means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 again. So my answer is 16. You probably noticed that I just multiplied my number by 2 again. 2 to the power of 5, multiply, not 5 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 5, multiplied by 2 again, I get 36. I'm multiplying by 2. Now, if I kind of reversed my thought process here and I said, okay, what's happening from one direction or from one number to the next as I move up? So if I went from 36 to 16, I'm actually dividing by 2. If I went from 16 to 8, I am dividing by 2. 8 to 4, dividing by 2. So whatever my my base number is, I'm dividing by that number as I move up. So if I had 2 to the power of 1, I moved up an exponent, so I'm going to divide by 2, and my answer would be 2, because I divided by 2. And that makes sense. Anything to the power of 1 is itself. Okay, now if I moved up again, 2 to the power of 0, see how I'm decreasing my exponents each time? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. My answer is going to be 1 because as I moved up, I divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, that works with anything. If I had 5 to the power of 2, 25. 5 to the power of 3, 125, because I multiplied by 5. But as I decreased, I divided by 5. So if I took 5 to the power of 1, 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 to the power of 0, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, that's why it's always going to be 1. Next thing I want to talk about is negatives. So if I had a negative number to the power of anything, you have to pay attention to whether or not there are parentheses. So let's actually talk about the parentheses one first. So right here, I have something inside of parentheses. That means that whatever is inside there goes together. You probably know that from PEMDAS or GEMDAS, that whatever is inside the parentheses goes together. So that means that this negative goes with this number. It can't be taken away yet because it is inside the parentheses with it. So this power of 2 is going with whatever's inside there. So if I had negative 3 to the power of 2, I'm going to take that negative 3, and I'm going to say negative 3 times negative 3. 3 times 3 is 9, but remember, if I'm multiplying two positives together, it ends up being a positive, so my answer is positive 9. Okay? Pretty simple, but look at this. If I have a negative number raised to the power of 2, this actually means that I have negative 1 times whatever that number is. So let's look at an example. If I had negative 3 to the power of 2, this little 2, it only goes with this 3. That's it. It does not touch that negative, okay? If there were parentheses around it, like over here, they go together, so that touches both of them. But right here, the 2 only touches the 3. So what this actually means is negative 3 or negative 1 times 3. Any negative number is just that number times negative 1. So for example, my Notability just quit. Hold on, sorry. So negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. If I had negative 5, what that actually means is negative 1 times 5. If I had negative 6, that actually means negative 1 times 6. So right here, I actually have negative 1 times 3 to the power of 2. So that means I am only taking that 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9. and then I'm taking that -1 and applying it to the front. So when I multiply 9 times -1, that actually means I'm just putting that negative back in front. So when you have something like this, your answer is always negative. So if I had -6 to the power of 3, I'm going to take 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36 times another 6. Oops. 36 times 6. So 216. But don't forget, this negative is being multiplied by the whole thing, so this is actually negative 216. Okay? Don't worry about that last one. We're just talking about anything to the power of 0 and negative base numbers.